Hi, my beautiful brothers and sisters. This is Mary Hernandez with Genesis Kingdom, part 2. So I'm going to close it up about the 4 faces of man. And as I was saying, I was in Psalms. And my time had run up, so I had to start over. It says, I have pursued my enemies and overtaken them, but neither did I turn again until they were consumed. That I have wounded them, and it says them that they were not able to rise, and they had fallen under my feet. For thou hast girded me with strength, and battle thou hast subdued under me, that those that have rose against me. That thou hast also given me the necks of my enemies, that I might destroy them, and them that hate me. They cried, but there was none to save them, even unto the Lord, but he answered them not. It says, then did I beat them small as dust before the wind, that I cast them out into the dirt of the streets. And that's like the victory, and it's in there. That thou hast delivered me from the strivings of the people, and thou hast made me the head of the heathens. And I, people whom I have known also, shall serve me. So let that Bible verse 18:43, that is the restoration of the Gentiles that is given, that is being run by the 4 kings, as well as they had that. And that's also in the Bible that tells you that. So it tells you the victory, pretty much the revelation as well, that, they, even though they seemed like they were conquering, but everything had a heavenly purpose and timing, with our divine, majestic God, our Father and our Mother, our creators. So with that being said, it says, thou hast delivered me from the strivings of the people, thou hast made me the head of the heathens, and a people whom I have not known shall serve me. As soon as they hear me, they shall obey me. Strangers shall submit themselves unto me. The strangers that fade away will be afraid out of their closed faces. The Lord liveth, and blessed be my rock, that let me, my God, the God of my salvation, be exalted. It is God that avenged me, that subdued the people under me. He delivered me from my enemies, and yes, thou lifted me up above those that rise up against me. Thou hast delivered me from the violent men, but therefore I give you thanks unto thee, O Lord, among the heathens, and sing praise unto thy name. Great deliverance give he to the king that showed mercy to his anointed, to David, to his seed forevermore. And once again, like I was asking, I would ask the Lord, only once, like the very beginning of the journey when I had asked, is it this man? And the Bible verse that actually spoke to me, the Holy Spirit said, if you're looking to put your trust in a man, then you don't need to be a servant of mine. If you're putting your trust, in a prince, then you don't need to serve me. Why was it saying that? Because the four faces of the man that he was talking about were the kings that had made themselves God. And who are these kings? Wow, I have an answer for that too. It's amazing revelation. Real quick, as you see how it talked about the cherubims that it was saying, and that is in Psalms, I believe, 18:10. So the mounts of the cherubims that they flew, and it soared from the wings of the wind. The angels, they were the angels. That is what it means. The stones, the angels. Celestial wings are with human animals. That it's like a characteristic that it talks about. Our strength that we have as well. The functions, the barriers, Bible described in the Bible as having the 4 faces of the iron, the eagle, and this is just doing a little breakdown through the historical evidence how the faces did see different aspects of king's power and majesty and intelligence, because they're deceivers, So then it had brought me to James 5:14, 5:14. It says, is any sick among you? Let him call the elders of the church. Let any of them pray over him, anointed him with the oil in the name of the Lord. It says, and if the prayer of the faith shall save the sick, the Lord shall rise him up. But if he has committed sins, then he shall be forgiven, right? So that's what brought me to James, and I wanted to understand what the cherubims and the seraphim meant. But it's the water and the oil. It's believing that the water has a type of healing, a healing power, because of the strength of baptism. The spirit within is to consecrate, and that's all in there. So that's like basically explaining what that meant. So with that being said, I did research about the four kings because it has the Medians, it had the Babylons, and it had the Persians, and it had the Greeks, right? So I went in and I said, well, I want to know who the descendants of the Medians are. And there's an answer for that. I was like, wow, like amazing revelation. So it brought me to Genesis 10:2. It brought me from Daniel 11:1 to Genesis 10:2 and Daniel 8:20. They're the sons of Noah. Can you believe that? It's Japheth that it started with. Those are the ones, the Medes, that were the agents, that were Iran people, that were the ancestors who lived in the northwestern portions till this present day in Iran. The Medes are famous for what? For their horses. They are famous for their horses. So what did it say in Revelation? That they would come 4 kings in a horse. Yes. It's true. It's all in there. And you could go and look. It'll bring you to Genesis 10:12. And who are the sons of Japheth? Of Japheth, right? It's Gomer, Magog, Madai, Javan, Tubal, Meshech, Tyrus, the sons of Gomer, and it goes on and on and on. And what did it say? Who is coming? Magog, God, all of them that they have called themselves God. Our own. This is people that are from the ancient days that have been around playing God, playing kings, and forgot about the Creator and exalted themselves and keeping you from your inheritance because it belongs to you. It always did from the very beginning. And it's the renewal of your mind. So I also did the Babylons. And it took a little bit, but it's the ancestors also that'll bring you of Ashur, which is also all from Noah's, as you read it in there. They're the Assyrians, Turkey. They're the numbers of Ascendants. Cush begat Nimrod. They become from Nimrod. Do you get it? Now, do you get it? Who made an idol of Nimrod? Come on. It's all in there. It's all connected. These are actually, believe it brings you to Genesis 35:26, the 8th son of the partridge of Jacob, the ones he had with Leah. Amazing revelation, isn't it? These are the ones that are coming against. Well, really, if you think about it, us, because the daughters that hold the birthright that they're trying to maintain a line. Why they paid so much money, So then it brought me to the Persians. What does that mean? Cyrus. How they brought King Cyrus? That's in Ezekiel 27:10. Also, and in 38:5. It's the Iranis, the Turkeys, the Arabs. In 1935, the Iran's government requested these countries, which they had diplomatic relations with, to call the Persians Iran, which is the name of the country. And the person suggested for the change that has to come from the Arabians, ambassador. This is to Germany, who came under the influence of the Nazis. And that's all backed up. Ezekiel 27:10 and Ezekiel 38:5. Study. Isn't that amazing revelation? Although I'm telling you, sometimes I can't even say that because I'm so intrigued, and the more that I get, the more revelation, the more I'm like, Father, I'm going in the deep. I'm going in the deep because then I'm able to preach the revelation to you. Sorry, it's a little bit windy, not too much. And I'm able to show up and read to you, preach deliverance to you. And don't get me wrong, maybe, I don't know about the outcome of those kings, because obviously there are enemies in that. Those that is coming to an end. So that is. But I'm talking about the sons, that it does say it in Revelation that the ones that ended up marrying the heartless and that were lying, that they also come and ask for forgiveness, and they do come. And that's also in there. So I'll also preach that, and we have to forgive. So it's kind of also preparing you to also that we have to forgive, because at the end of the day, that was the whole calling, is the rescue of the children of Israel, to bring them back into the land. So we have to forgive. I don't really hate anybody. I'm not really angry. Maybe, I think if anything, and I'm being quite honest, I was like, man, I'm missing time on my kids. I really am. But what am I talking about? I'm going to be around forever. I'm a celestial being, an earth angel, and I'm going to be with my kids, be able to see my grandkids and my grandkids. It's going to be so beautiful, the restoration, the rebuilding of this world, that we're taking territory under his authority. It was what was rightfully mine and yours, his children, your children's children. And that's all. And it's a renewal of your mind. So you could go in there and look. And that also comes from the Greeks, the Philistines, the Grecians. That's in Act also 11:20. Javan is the fourth generation that has Elijah. Do you remember how they have Elijah and then Elijah? So it's Elisha, the fake prophets, and say they did and he did not choose. That is in Genesis 10:4, and that also comes from the Philistines, the ones that are calling themselves God. Those are the theos. The cause pretty much is the satanic Satanists, the Satanists, the saint. They're not saints, they're Satan worshippers, and those are the Greeks, and that also tells you, and they're called the theos. They make themselves God, and you read it on there, they try to take over, but and that also comes from the fourth generation, and that is on Genesis 10:4. So you'll look in Javan, which is the fourth generations, and those are the Greeks and the Greeks, and you see Elijah in there, not Elijah, but Elijah, the other one that was in there. Those are the ones that are calling themselves, chosen by God, and they weren't. All of it is to keep you from walking into your inheritance. So you get the one that talks about Nimrod, all of it. It's in there. It's just really doing real study. And those were actually the four great beasts that are coming from the fourth side of the earth to come and fight against us, God's children. But I just read to you, he gives me the revelation. So that's why I was able to read Psalms for you, because what they had planned for this world. But I said, no, it is my world. I created it all. And that is for my children. And it's for me, for them to serve me in the world, but to do good. It's not following the beast system, not evil. The 10 Commandments, do not kill, steal, and destroy. I'm not saying that we're going to be perfect, but surely we do not kill, steal, and destroy. And it's a renewing, the healing that is happening all over the world, and it's just to bring you back, because a lot of you weren't believing, and this is just to bring you back to who our Lord is, So then I'm going to try to fit in here, and that's all in Genesis, by the way, and I share those Bible verses with you so you could go and look. And it's all in there. And that it also tells you, oh my goodness, it is so perfect too. I text that to me as well. Which is this, the two-horned ram that you saw represents the kings of Media and Persia. That's in Daniel 8:20. That shaggy goat of the king of Greece, which I just read to you, is the large horn between the eyes of the first king, which is Daniel 8:21. The king of the south will become strong, and the one of his commandments will become even stronger than he, and will rule over the kingdom with great power. The Revelation 11:5. It's amazing revelation. And it's just God woes me every day, because I continue reading and just getting that amazing revelation, And that talks about the Medians, the Persians in Daniel 5:20. Oh yeah, because do you remember when it was that I think it was King Nebuchadnezzar that and it was Amazing Grace too in Daniel 5:25, and I'll share that with you. And I had a I don't know why when I read it I didn't see it. So like I said, God gives me the eyes to see and the ears to hear. So it had brought me to Daniel 5:25. And it was like when Nebuchadnezzar said, I had a dream, and he wanted to know what that dream meant, right? And it was amazing revelation. It says, and in this writing that was written, it said many tekel, and then it goes like ab harrison. And this is the interpretation of the thing many. God had numbered thy kingdom, and it finished it. So that means the kingdom was coming to an end. So his kingdom came to an end, and then he turned him over. And that was Nebuchadnezzar. And why did God do that? Because this is people that get in the throne, continue making themselves God, and forget the Creator. He sends ambassadors, he sends seers, and they'll ask you questions. And then if you say, well, I did this, I built this, I did that, I. He says, who do you think gave you that blessing? God gives, God takes it away. Best believe that. And if you forget their Creator, gone. Just like that. You know what I'm saying? You can't fool the Creator at all. And this is just to wake up this whole world, that without the Creator, there is nothing in this world. Would have had nothing but darkness. And that exactly where it was at. And I see people all over the world, all over the universe, coming back to the Creator. The King that died on that cross for us. The prophetess and the prophets that suffer for coming out there to preach the truth to the daughters, to preach the truth to the sons, to stop lying. And it does tell you repetitively that I just read that on you. Stop lying. Stop lying to them. You're saying false visions. Stop. And also liberty to this world that was keeping us, all of us, in bondage. I'm free. I'm free indeed. Are you free? Are you renewing your mind? Are you actually sitting there really trying to at least read it and asking? Ask, you should receive. It's in there. I think I'm going to finish this video because I don't think I'll have enough room for the fourth. Because I think I have like almost 20 minutes. And I want to actually do all and finish off that talks about the four beasts in Daniel 7:3. And it pointed out Daniel's 7:3. The Medes and the Persians. And then I pulled out this really cool, as I was looking to find out what the 10 horns means. I wanted to do all this instead at first because I wanted to show you, that it's just amazing. So it brought me the beast with 7 heads and 10 horns. Okay, let me explain to you something about this. A lot of the kings they sold out to darkness. They make themselves God and really are serving Satan. And that's the truth. I don't want you to mistake this and saying, well, the kings were evil. They did evil. Yes, they did. But we also have a really enemy out there. And a lot of them got sold out. That's where you get the 4 fallen angels that are serving darkness now. These are people that, God gives, God takes it away, make themselves God, and forgot about the Creator. So I actually have pulled out because I wanted to know what the horns meant. And that's in Revelation 12:3 that it also does. In the book of Revelation, John describes the beast of 7 heads and 10 horns, that it is possible to interpret what it means. God isn't going to reveal something that is impossible for you to understand. It says, but it also be careful in examinations of the scriptures, reveals interpretation. It says descriptive picture symbolizes. This is the panoramic view of kingdoms that they have ruled throughout the history. Let's compare the different descriptions, right, of the beast. And it tells you on there. Revelation 12:3. The dragon with the 7 heads, 10 horns, sorry, I keep saying corn, is horns on this head was the 7 diadems of crowns. The dragon interpreted for Satan, and that is in Revelation 12:9. That represents Satan's dominion. That was the 7 world empires. And which are the 7 world empires, brothers and sisters? Egypt, Assyrian, Babylon, Media, Persia, Greece, Rome, the Roman Catholics, Rome. The future reviewed of the Roman empires are the 10 horns that are placed at the empire based upon Daniel 7:23-25. The 10 horns are the 10 kings which arise in the future, Daniel 7:24. This is the kingdom from which the Antichrist will arise. And I say this because I want you to know how serious this really is. This isn't nothing to joke around. This isn't about who's wearing a crown, brothers and sisters. This isn't about who's going to have the best good-looking king or the best good-looking queen, or it's a love story. No, it's a demonic world that was here, and it is being removed by the Creator and through his children. And it's a renewal of your mind. And understand that. Stop fighting something that you cannot win. This darkness can't even win. But in this process, he wants to save his children and save this world. But you also need to put in a fight. You also need to know, what am I going to do? People also are sitting there, well, it's about Republican, it's about Democrats. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. Until God is in the midst of this, that's never going to be run right. And it's always going to be a corruption going on in this world. In every country, everywhere, there is somebody that is a senator, that is a so-called head in this world. Until that happens is when this land is going to be healed. And it's happening. So it's which side you're going to be on. You know? And then it says, in Revelation 13:3 tells us that one of the heads was wounded as a slain. Some of them were wrongly interpreted this as to mean that Antichrist will receive a head wound, appear to have died, and it came back to, which I really did think that. It says, notice that it says one of the heads was wounded. Remember, the beast has 7 heads, and only one head is wounded. Revelation 13:14 says it is the wounded by the sword. The head of the wounded is the 6th head, Rome, which was conquered by the sword, but will come back to life in the future to become and revive the Roman Empire before the second of the coming of Christ. And what does that mean? If you remember, even back, I think, as far as I remember, I think I got here in 83 to Colorado. And do you remember back then when they were all saying about how the Catholics, and I was even like, honestly, and this is true, this is all true, that they had found that the ushers, the kids that were ushers that were there, they were being molested, and all this happened, and then the people started backing away from the Catholics, so it tore down that empire, that people stopped going to Catholics. And then all of a sudden the arise came again. This is what it means about the second coming. And this is true, I'm telling you. I was knocking door to door to people, and I had somebody that came out pissed and said, I ain't going to the church because of what happened to those kids. And did it happen? Absolutely, it did. It did. It says Revelation 13:1-3. The beast had 7 heads and 10 horns, and on the horns were 10 diadems. It says, and the heads were blasphemous of names. The verse 2 describes the beast as a leopard. Remember how it says leopard in there for the 4 faces? I actually have that, but that's actually in Daniel 7:3. That's actually what I'm going to do there, because I was like, wait, hold on. What does that mean? What does that mean? You know? And then it says that the beast had a leopard, a bear, and a lion, and that was the same beast that described the verses to describe the beast of the leopard, the bear, and the lion. These were the same beasts that were described. Sorry, I went down the same line. Daniel 7, 4, and 6. That's what I'm about to read next. It says, except the reverse order. Daniel was looking into the future to see the kingdoms, while he, Apostle John, looks back to them and fulfill the history. The descriptions were more in details. 1. Egypt, Assyrians. Babylon is the lion in Daniel 7, 4. Medo-Persia, bear, is Daniel 7, 5. It says, and Greece is the leopard, Daniel 7, 6. Rome, the future revived of the Roman Catholics. Once again, we place the 10 horns and the crowns on the 7th head because of what we have already learned in Daniel 7, 3:27. Some of the people drawn pictures of the 7 heads and the 10 horns, and the crowns were disturbed all over the heads, which was incorrect. 10 horns, the crowns were on one, and the heads were the 7th head of the empire. We notice that the 10 horns now have the 10 diadems, crowns, meaning the future that revived Roman empire that has come to the power and the ruling of the world. And it says Revelation 17:3, the scarlet beast, full of blasphemous name of the 7 heads of the 10 horns. It says Revelation 7:9 tells us the 7 heads are the 7 mountains of the 7 king mountains, the Bible symbolic of the kingdoms or governments. See Psalms 37, Jeremiah 51, 24 to 25, Daniel 2, 35, 44. Revelation 17, 10, 11. The 7 heads are the 7 kings. 5 have fallen at the time of John was writing Revelation. 5 kingdoms have already passed, which are them: Egypt, Assyria, Babylon, and Medo-Persia, Greece. 1, when John was writing, Rome was ruling in the world. 6, Rome. The other was yet to come, refers to the future revival of what? Of the Roman Empire. Future revived Roman Empire was the 10 horns of the 7 head. You know, people, like I said, people make jokes. Oh, well, I'm for this team, I'm for that team. This is serious, what's going on. And if you want proof, brothers and sisters, look around what's going on in this world. Look around. Nobody has a voice for little, because I'm by a school, that's why I say that. Nobody has a voice for these kids. Nobody ever had a voice for the kids that were being molested, sodomized, raped for years and centuries, but nobody hears them. Nobody hears them until now. Revelation 7:12. The 10 horns are the 10 kings. What is the difference between the 7 kings that represents by the 7 heads and the 10 kings represents by 10? It says horns. It's simply this: the 7 kings, right, are success of the kingdoms because they rule after the other over centuries of the 10 kings. It says capricious king who rule the same time in history. The verse tells us that the 10 horns, the 10 kings, that we have not yet received the kingdom when Revelation was written in 96 AD, that they're still in the future because the 10 horns are the 7 heads of these 10 kings, us is who will come to power in the future, revive the Roman Empire. Daniel 2:4 tells us till this day, those are the kings of the God of heaven that will set the kingdom, which will never be destroyed. When these 10 kings are living, Jesus will return to earth. The second coming will set up the millennium kingdom. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing? It's amazing. Amazing revelation. Wake up, pick up the Bible, preach over it, read over your kids, Let him know. Don't go with anything out in the world. Don't send him out to the woods. Pray over them. You know, take him to church. You know, Bible study. Do Bible trivia to learn the real Bible.